I'm Dr. Rachel Gonzalez, Program Coordinator for the Mild, Moderate, Dual, Multiple Subject Credential Special Education Program. And I would like to share some highlights of our program so that you will have a better understanding of, of our program. First thing I'd like to share is the goal of our special education program, and that is to provide an inclusive education that will improve the quality of life of the individuals with disabilities and their families. As a cooperating mentor teacher, you have chosen to support our teacher candidates in the different phases that they have in order to complete their 2-year journey to get their educational specialist. So I would like to begin by sharing with you our program plan. This program plan, when teacher candidates enter our program, they are assigned an advisor that will work with them throughout their 2-year program to make sure that they are following the sequence of the courses, that they have a clear understanding where they are in the program and how long it's going to take them to finish. At each stage, an advisor signs off on them, checks in on them, making sure that they're okay, making sure that they are passing their grades. And this is a program plan that we also use when we start taking a look at placement. What placement are the students going to be? So I just wanted again just share the 2-year course sequence that we have. The first semester is generally a special education coursework. Second semester, it's a combination of general education and special education coursework. Second semester is the first field experience 4 days a week. The third semester, we have the multiple subject student teaching 4 days a week, along with the students completing their EdTPA in math. In the fourth semester, the students are finishing up their special education student teaching 4 days a week. They are also finishing a final teaching seminar to make sure that they have met all of the requirements and are ready to apply for their credential. I want to share what exactly happens in the field student teaching phases that students go through. First one, phase one, is a field experience course, and that is 420A, general education. Or if you are only going to seek a special education credential, you would take 471, only special education. The field experience here is only half a day, at least 4 hours, mostly from 7:30 to noon or after lunch, Monday to Thursday. Phase two is EDSP 420B, and this is where students are completing their student teaching in general education in order for them to apply for their multiple subject credential. And that is full day, Monday through Thursday. Phase three is EDSP 472, and this is where teacher candidates are teaching full day, Monday through Thursday, in a special education inclusive classroom. So as you can see, the hours increase as they move from field experience to student teaching. In each phase, it is critical that regular weekly meeting times with a cooperating teacher, usually after school or whenever it works for both teacher candidate and cooperating teacher, to set up time to complete any necessary planning, any preparation, part of that building up a collaborative relationship, any concerns that may be going on with either teacher candidate or teacher or cooperating teacher. Our desire is that you will make time to discuss those issues and not allow them to kind of get out of control. Candidates who are working with an intern credential, EDSP 473, are in the classroom Monday through Friday for the full day, following the school district calendar and school district school hours. So those are the phases our students you may be receiving a student in one of those phases: field experience, general education, or special education. I've included the website for our program and fieldwork placement handbook, because I believe it has a great deal of information that will help both the teacher candidate and the cooperating teacher to understand expectations, to have a sense of exactly what is our program all about. I highlighted some of the chapters in the book because I think, in the handbook, because I think it really will help you in understanding what is going on with, and particularly in each phase. So the first one is information for cooperating mentor teachers. That has a great deal of information about what is the general role of a cooperating teacher. What are the expectations of a cooperating teacher at each phase? Phase one, field experience; phase two, general ed student teaching; phase three, special ed student teaching. So it just gives you what are the expectations that we have of our teacher educators, and also expectations we have of you. It provides a great deal of information on how you can support your mentor teacher, particularly debriefing on a lesson that you presented for your teacher to observe on, or debriefing on a lesson that the teacher candidate presented, and how does that look, and what kinds of um, strengths the teacher candidate displayed, or in what areas the teacher needs to improve. Each one of these sections has a great deal of information. As much as it is in the cooperating teacher, there's also a great deal of information for our teacher candidates. And we require the teacher candidates, to make a copy of the handbook. Before they ask a question, look at the handbook. What does it say? What are the procedures? What's the process? Who do you contact? So nothing should really be unknown, unless the teacher candidate does not read before asking the question. And there's also a section on student teaching experience expectation, the pacing guide. The pacing guide is a general timeline as to what is expected by the teacher candidate, what is expected by the cooperating teacher. It's just a guideline starting from the very first week that the student steps into your classroom. Week one, what do we want to see in the teacher candidate? What do you want to see in the teacher candidate? I believe that the pacing guide is a real asset to everyone, because it does help in trying to understand exactly what is going on. What should that individual be doing, and what phase that individual should be doing. Every student every teacher candidate that comes into your room should know what phase they are in, and that will help in the pacing guide, and that will help in developing that relationship. So I just have some quick tips, tips for successful collaboration with teacher candidate. I think the most important is to be that active listener and communicator. Ask the questions. We encourage teacher candidates to ask questions. Do not just let it sit there. It's okay to ask questions in order to build that meaningful relationship. We encourage teacher candidates to foster a collaborative relationship with colleagues, students, and families. We encourage teacher candidates to become involved, to become a part of the school, because that is a way that you're going to get to know all students. You're going to be able to get to at least know who all the teachers are. You may not have a personal relationship with them, but you are able to recognize them and have a conversation about who you are, who the teacher candidate is, and why they are on there. I think the last piece, I've mentioned that several times now: work together to understand and follow the pacing guide, create dedicated time to plan lessons and reflect on teaching. a critical part of our program and our understanding of where students should be week by week. And the last thing I just want to mention is to be sensitive as a cooperating teacher, to be sensitive and supportive of assignments teacher candidates have and the timeline and due dates for assignments. I share this with you because your teacher candidates are in your classroom for 4 hours, or it may be when they're doing phase 2 and phase 3, they are with you in your classroom all day following your school calendar, your school hours. Teacher candidates are coming back onto campus to take courses at 4:30 and at 7:30. So it is a long day for them. And so we ask that you be sensitive and supportive of their assignments. We encourage you to have that conversation with them, like, what are you doing? How can I help you with that? As I mentioned in that the first 2 slides, this is our program sequence. This is what students have to take. We encourage them to communicate with the mentor teacher as much as possible. So we thank you very much for listening to this short little blurb about what the mild moderate dual credential program is. Thank you.